celebrating 15 years of Young Turks.
Hello and welcome to this very special episode of Young Turks. My name is Megha Vishwanath, and joining us today is a startup that became one of the hottest startups almost instantly since its inception in 2009. I'm talking about Sweden-based Truecaller, and with me today are the co-founders, Alan and Ami. Thank you so much for being with us on CNBC TV 18 Young Turks. In fact, let me say, welcome back. Alan, we've had you on the show in 2014. Tell us what has been up with Truecaller since then. Bring us up to speed. And also let me go ahead and ask you one of the most important questions. Is Truecaller still relevant?
Thank you for having us here again. India is today our second home. We have offices in Delhi, Mumbai and Bangalore, so we have operations going on everywhere. Last year was a phenomenal year for us. We grew. We were actually the third most downloaded app in India, but more importantly, the third most engaged and active app in India. So I hope that answers the question if we're still relevant.
Okay.
We're growing really, really fast, and today, we're creating trust amongst over 150 million users in India, and it just keeps growing.
Do you have metrics on, is it the metros or is it the tier 2, tier 3 cities? Where is your user base still coming from? Is it the first time smartphone users? Nami.
Truecaller continues to be one of the most used apps in the metros, and I think as users get on their second and third smartphones, we're seeing more and more advanced use cases. However, in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, we still see the fantastic growth, the same as we saw a couple of years back, in the metro cities. We see that keep happening, and we're really excited about the future as the smartphone penetration of the country grows.
All right, when we talk about a brand and talk about staying relevant or staying significant, you have to pivot, and you've launched a lot of new features. The business model is changing for Truecaller. Talk to us more about that.
Last year, we actually made Truecaller the phone app, the app that you make phone calls from and that you receive phone calls from, using this platform, this trusted identity platform. Now this year, I wouldn't say we're pivoting, we're rather making sure that your full communication experience,
transforming the product itself, right?
And every company needs to continue to innovate, right? And for us, this makes sense. It's the next step to combine all the possible communication methods. But also, we didn't want to stop there. We wanted to build something new as well, which we'll be talking about, flash messaging.
All right, so let's talk about flash messaging. From what I understand, it actually helps you, scan the spam messages on your SMS inbox, which is a feature that every Indian would love to have on their smartphone, considering how all our SMS inboxes are clogged with spams.
Truecaller now will support a messaging part, which is SMS based, right? Where we'll be filtering out all the spam messages that people receives every day. Basically taking the calling experience and applying it to text messages, and making sure that when your phone rings, it's something important and it's for you, right? But going back to Flash, it's the next type of messaging service that we believe, and we looked at it in a way where, it happens very often that you're waiting for your friend to show up, and you're not sure if the person is stuck in traffic or if you're both waiting at different locations, and we wanted to solve those type of problems.
Okay.
Less tapping and less talking, and that's flash messaging.
Flash messaging feature still remains true to your core, but here's what's different. Of course, we've seen this in the Indian economy in the wake of demonetization. We've seen a number of e-wallets emerge in the recent times. Not just that, we've also seen government's own application, Aadhaar Pay, come in. And Truecaller has now also forayed into this space with Truecaller Pay. What made you think that we need another e-wallet in India?
What we've done is we've tied up with ICICI Bank, and together we've provided a safe and efficient solution for you to be able to make P2P transactions right through your contacts. So the flow is very different from what you've seen in other apps.
Okay.
For instance, if I want to send you money, I would go into your contact and I would send money straight from there. Or
but it's still a tie-up with ICICI, so I need the ICICI app on my phone?
No, absolutely not. It's a UPI transaction that will happen. So you will sign up through the Truecaller app to a UPI and get a VPA handle. So the integration happens with the ICICI as a PSP.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that the Truecaller user actually has to be
an ICICI bank account holder. Yes.
Exactly. So you can use any bank you want that has a tie-up with UPI. Most major banks have. And even many of the smaller banks have, and they keep coming on board. And so you can use any of those banks to do transactions to any other account, and you don't need to know bank account numbers, etc., etc. All you need to know is that in your contacts you will have a payment button.
It's not just Aadhaar Pay. We've also seen Samsung recently launch Samsung Pay. So what's your strategy? How do you want to differentiate yourself? How do you want to cut through the market?
We think it's fantastic initiatives from the government, and these both Aadhaar Pay and UPI are actually approved and kind of monitored from the government side, right? And they're all about bringing the digital economy into the masses. And Truecaller is an app used by the masses. So we see a natural fit there where our scale will enable these transactions to actually get a foothold and introduce people to this new way of making transactions.
And you think it's going to be as seamless as it sounds? I mean, on paper, this absolutely makes sense. You have 150 million users in India, and the moment you're going to introduce another feature on the app, probably people are going to switch, to it. But here is the biggest barrier when it comes to India and shifting to cashless economy is digital literacy. How do you plan on combating that? How do you plan on educating the user?
This tie-up is actually launched in India only, right? So we have this long-term commitment, and we want to keep solving these issues. And we will, in the coming months, be introducing more and more languages into the app. The Truecaller app already supports 12 different Indian languages.
Right.
And we will continue with that commitment to bring it to the masses. Again, Truecaller is a product for the masses. And so I think where we're differentiating from many other companies is that we're here to build it for the masses using the technology that is most easy to adopt for the masses.
And what's the marketing plan for that, for masses to adopt this? Are you planning to go big on spreading the word? Alan, maybe you want to take this one?
What we have learned is that the best marketing actually comes from our users when they talk about the service. So we need to handhold them and tell them why it makes sense. And we believe it makes sense in their communication, in the conversation that they are having. So we do have a lot of initiatives coming up, but more importantly, we want to make sure that the end consumer understands it so they can tell their friends, just like how Truecaller started.
It's time for a short break on this very special edition of Young Turks, but stay tuned. We have lots coming up for you on the other side of the break. We will be in conversation with Alan and Ami. Don't go anywhere.
Staying relevant is, I wouldn't say it's hard. It's all about having the mindset of always innovating. And I think every entrepreneur has that mindset, to be honest. Starting up was just fun. We were two guys in Nami's kitchen and just coding. So that was the easy part.
Celebrating 15 years of Young Turks.